Hey, this is Whole Health with Truly Writer. So again, Truly Jacob a Writer is my pen writing and media name, so you probably won't see my face. So, again, whole health. How do you have whole health? You may need proper religious materials. So, as a child, I was raised with my Bible friends. So let's go over it and see if there's anything weird in them just by looking at the picture. Okay, so this is a boy, this is a girl. They're pretty much wearing the same clothes. Same with them. Okay, so there's a headband thing here to keep this on, but there isn't one here. So there's a little bit difference. But it's like, why would a boy be wearing a dress? So we won't look at all of the pictures, but it's just like, oh, here you go. This and this. Like, here's this covering. Like, it's like the same style, pretty much. So, okay, that's enough for book one. Okay, so this is supposed to be Joseph. I mean, can you really tell the difference between boys' clothes and girls' clothes? I mean, why would you give a boy, hair that could look more girlish, like that's short? Like, I mean, that, I don't know. Like, how do you really tell the difference? So, I mean, years ago, I heard a statement that there were Bibles somewhere that supported homosexuality, gender, transitioning from one gender to another. I mean, how do you know what is proper gender clothes if you want to distinguish genders of there's a difference between being a boy and a girl? So here's more detailed work in this one. Not very much detailed work for that one. More detailed work. Oh, this one looks like there's a little bit more detail. And I guess someone tried to color these pictures for some reason. Maybe it's like someone didn't like them. But it's like, a boy literally looks like he's wearing some version of a dress. It doesn't look like a robe, So, it's like, where are the shorts? Where are the pants for boys? I mean, I can understand, if you need a towel and you show a boy in a towel covering himself temporarily or something, but it's like, really, you went around back in the 300s, 400s, and boys wore dresses? Like if you were a boy, would you want to wear a dress? I mean, and these are the priestly robes. Again, looks, how do you know? I mean, it looks like a skirt now. Why would a boy want to wear a skirt? And so here's a girl with short hair. So you have girls wearing short hair and the boys with beards. I guess that's why maybe there's a mandate you have to wear a beard if you're a boy. But these are boys technically, and they don't have beards, you know. So the only way probably to distinguish between a boy and a girl was like maybe occupation. I don't know, because like a boy has a head covering, a girl has a head covering, you know. And then that probably looks like a girl to me. I don't know. How do you know? But it's like, okay, you have different head coverings for boys versus girls. Again, head covering. But this looks like a boy from a distance. This looks like a girl. And he's wearing a similar thing to a girl. So it's like, I don't know. It's like, what makes something gender neutral for clothes, where both genders can wear the clothes, and what makes it so there's a distinguishing factor of girls should only wear this style of clothes, like dresses or skirts. Or is it really okay for boys to wear dresses and skirts? Because here's like a soldier guy or a king, you know, and he's wearing a dress. So I don't know. It's very confusing to me. But I used to think these books were so good and okay. And here's like similar attire versus girl versus boy. And the sandals seem the same. So it's like everyone trying to dress gender neutral. Like, I don't know, where are the My Bible Friends? Where okay, so again, boys, I think he was a priest, you know. So these books don't actually go over all the details of who was necessarily related to who per se 100%. I mean, you have the world flood, where it just says you know, Shem, Ham, and Japheth, they had their wives, and Noah had his wife in the Noah's ark, and then it doesn't say go and populate the whole entire world. So, you know, it could have been a certain section of the world that got flooded, or what if there's a bunch of different I don't know, their hypothesis is, what if there's another planet and they had better technology back then, even though they wore simpler clothes. So evil queen's attire, you know, how do you really tell the difference for clothes? Anyways, but for Noah's Ark, like, how do you not know? They didn't have a different kind of technology that was simple, and then it made him be able to go to a different planet, and only one world got flooded, you know, and then they just went back, figured out how to do the other technology, and then there was like being able to go to different worlds. I mean, how do you know the truth if you're not given all the details? That is my whole thing. So again, simple attire. This is a girl, this is a boy. Again, it's like, how do you know the difference between a boy and a girl? Like, I mean, okay, girl, short hair versus boy. Same, like, length pretty much. And then Esther being queened. And then it's like, here's this kingly attire. Like, the crown is different. So, and then she's wearing jewelry, but it didn't show a lot of pictures of, handmaidens. These two not wearing jewelry. The queen's the only one wearing jewelry. And then boy guards. It's like, I don't know. So, I mean, I grew up, they were interesting because, again, you have audio, so you could hear it, but they did not go over the alphabet. So, how do you know those people were pronouncing everything properly? Well, because you can listen to the reading as far as every letter and every word. How do you know that these are the original true stories? And I mean, it's like the girls and the boys are wearing two similar clothes to be like, oh yeah, everyone dresses differently. Everyone has distinct different gender clothes. And this is the history people say we all came from. And it's just like, really? You're okay with everybody wearing a dress in the 300s, 400s, and then with the Greeks and the Romans. Like, these are supposed to be all boys, and look at them. They're all wearing dresses. Some version of a dress. It doesn't look like a robe. This would count as a robish attire. But it's like, if it gets colder, why wouldn't you have a long sleeve robe to go over your dress or whatever? I just don't get it. Or your tunic, whatever they want to call it. So, it's like, I have a problem believing that we came from the history where, you know, there's a civilization where it's like, oh yeah, it's okay for guys to wear skirts or kilts or whatever. Like, worldwide. It's like, it just seems so wrong. Like, did the guys not know how to sew pants or shorts? Like, what's going on? Like, why would you be okay wearing a skirt or a dress? Because this looks like, you know, two different things. Like, I don't know. Why would a man be okay wearing a skirt? I don't know. And then this looks more girly to me. Definitely this one. I mean, it just doesn't look like proper attire for a boy if a boy wants to be a boy only. But if a boy's into wearing girl stuff too, then yeah, then I could see it. I don't know. What do all of you think? Hey, so just so you know, who is the company that produces this? It is Review and Herald Publishing Association, Washington, D.C. So feel free to look into that denomination. I'm not gonna say it online I've said it in other videos, the denomination that I was raised to believe that had the whole truth, but I'm just like, as I'm looking through things, I'm just having a hard time believing that a God that deserves worship would put girls and boys in the same style of clothes and be like, I'm sorry, it's okay for boys to wear dresses and skirts. Unless I'm mistaken, um, so it's like I just have questions of like what makes gender clothes specific. So it's like if you're a boy, would you be okay going out in civilization if something happened where we went back to this style of clothes? Would you boys take on the whole thing of, yeah, let's wear these dresses because they don't really look beautiful, they don't look like girly attire really to me at all, like, but here you go, here's head coverings and stuff. I mean, would you really want to roam around in these style of dresses, boys and girls? um uh, or would you want them more distinct of, these are boy version of dresses, the prettier version are for girls, these are more masculine? Like, would you want to separate it? And here's how you make them gender mutual, so both genders could wear some things. But would you really want to go climb a mountain in this style of clothes? Would you want to go horseback riding with this style of clothes? Would you want to ride a bike with this style of clothes? Like, wouldn't you be limited in some of your activities if you had this style of clothes? And so a headband for a girl, some kind of hat for a boy. But like in the summertime, if it gets really hot, would you really want to wear a hat? Like, I don't know. Like, what were the fabrics? Like, and so my whole life I was like, yeah, this is Jesus. This is who you need to worship. This is the Messiah. This is the person that's going to come save you someday and save you from all of your sins. But it's like, shouldn't you be saving boys from wearing, wrong clothes if boys aren't supposed to wear dresses? I mean, it's not even a bathrobe, it just seems like something's wrong with the clothes. And so I just don't know. How are things supposed to be? How do you distinguish boy clothes versus girl clothes versus clothes that both genders can equally wear and be like, it's okay for us both to wear this? Because I do like wearing pants, I do like wearing shorts, but I like it being in a girly way. Is there a way that it's okay for boys to wear dresses and it be in a boy way? You know, a boy way. So I just don't know, but it's like, how do you know what is right and what is wrong? Because it's like, isn't that part of whole health, is also dressing appropriately, dressing with your proper gender, and knowing what is gender mutual clothes, so there's no confusion of, oh yeah, it's okay to like, what if there's a superpower where you can transform your form into something else? Well, if you're really born a girl, which I really think I've been born a girl, I'm not going to want to transform myself into being a boy and looking like a boy. I want to always look like a girl, even if I could transform myself into a different shape, if that exists. Again, this is a hypothetical situation, but it's like, that's what they're saying on the news and on YouTube, that there are doctors doing surgery on boys and girls to have them go into the opposite gender that they were born to be. And then they're having severe health problems. So it's like, well, if you're having severe health problems because you switched your gender to a gender you weren't initially born as, then it's like, then the surgery doesn't make logical sense. Or transitioning to the form of a boy completely if you were a girl doesn't make sense. Or transitioning yourself to a girl if you were born a boy doesn't really make a logistics health, like it doesn't make sense health wise. But again, in society, people are going to do what they're going to do. They're going to believe what they're going to believe, even if you have a different opinion. So I'm not here to take away your opinion, your viewpoint, your perspective, your idea, and be like, it's wrong. I'm just saying, where's the scientific proof and evidence, even for clothes, that, shouldn't there be some kind of scientific evidence that supports, hey, it's okay for a boy to wear a dress. It's okay for a girl to wear a dress. This is the way a girl wears a dress. This is the way a boy wears a dress. And this is the gender neutral way of wearing a dress. Where is the scientific evidence for that? So part of the scientific evidence could be you may have to honestly create that kind of wardrobe, have people wear it for a month or a bunch of months and be like, how does this work? How do you like this wardrobe? How do you like this style of clothes? You ask girls questions, boys questions, people of all ages, and then you try to do a gender mutual style of it and see if, hey, do you feel like this is gender mutual? So if a boy is in this style of clothes, maybe some of those questions are, do you feel that you're still a boy while you wear it? Or do you feel like it's like taking away feelings or sensations of taking away you feeling like you're a boy, So I grew up wearing pants. Wearing pants in the girly way did not take away my feelings of being like, oh yeah, I'm definitely a girl. But do I like the more pretty girly pants and shorts and that kind of style? Yes. Do I want it done in a more girly way? Yes. So there could be different styles that could be similar or compatible, and these are for boys only, these are for girls only. And then there are certain styles where it's like, oh, this is how you put them together. I don't know, but shouldn't there be science? Shouldn't there be lengthy questionnaires to make sure that, all the clothes are done properly? But everyone in society is like, oh yeah, it's okay for everybody to wear everybody and be whatever gender you want. And it's like, shouldn't you do scientific, some kind of, find the science that backs up that theory or philosophy? Like, everyone for years and years, they're like, I believe in science. I believe in science. We need science to prove everything and have evidence for everything. But, someone comes along with this theory of like, oh yeah, it's okay to switch genders. And it's like, well, do you have sound science to back that up? Because if you don't have the true scientific evidence to back up that philosophy or that theory, then you can't just say it and get the masses or the huge population to just get on board and do it. So, where is the evidence? So, again, when I was a child, I could not fully comprehend what I was seeing, what I was hearing, the religion that I was taught. It didn't sink in that something could be wrong with it. So I am just bringing this to everyone's attention. Is there something wrong with the Christian religion? Is there something wrong with believing in Jesus being your Savior, the Messiah? He wore a dress. Was he both genders? Is Jesus really a boy and a girl? Who is Jesus? Where are the detailed Bibles that tell you the original story of where these clothes came from? Who is Jesus? Where are the original stories with the details? Because the details do matter. And the science does matter. True science does matter. So, I am sorry in the past if I knocked door to door and I tried to sell you these books and you bought them from me. Because that was probably sending the message to your child that it's okay for boys and girls to wear the same kinds of clothes without a distinction of this is the girly way of wearing this style of clothes or the huge boy way of wearing these clothes, and here's the proper gender neutral way of wearing this style of clothes. So I am sorry that I went door to door and maybe sold you these books and you wasted your money. That's also probably a huge reason why going to door and being successful going to door didn't really work, because the boys and the girls at the door were like, no, I want nothing to do with this because a boy is wearing a dress. Who knows? They probably saw it in the pictures. Oh yeah, there's definitely something wrong with this religion. So I'm sorry that I did that. Whoever you are, it was in the state of Maine. It was out west in Arizona and California, in Nevada is where I knocked on doors. That's it. So I am sorry that I tried to sell you these books because I no longer believe in them. And it was leaving them on a donational basis to support me going through school, which I didn't pick a good career, apparently. So, anyways, sorry that I tried to sell these books or have people get some version of these books by going door to door for donations. Because I was told that this was the true religion, and I'm not so sure it is anymore. Because when you compare scripture with scripture, they all seem pretty bad to me. So, but this is the way this denomination wanted everything was, this is how they paid the artists to do these things. Hey, draw this style of clothing. It's like, do you really know what they wore back in the year 300 or 400 or 500 or the year 50? Do you really know? Because I was told that no one really knew what people wore back then. So it's like, well, then why did you have someone draw it like this? Why didn't you have boys be in shorts and a shirt and a hat and girls wear this style of clothing? So again, are there hidden books somewhere with more details, with truer pictures for kids or adults or teenagers that give more details? There could be even more details in a broad and vague way, because it may not go over every single detail of, on a cellular level, this is what this food does to the cells in your body. You don't have to tell a story with those details, or this is how you make this tool. You can show it in the pictures, or you can show it in the video. So are there books that are better, that have a true story? Or because again, the religion that I was brought up in, you can bless people or you can curse people with your words. You can speak positive words over yourself or others. You can speak negative words over yourself or others. So maybe you could speak positive or negative stuff over someone else's material that they have written, and it gets changed, So are there other materials out there somewhere that have the truth of the story, of like, here's the story that gave you the idea for this fictional story, or mostly fictional story? Where is that material? So that's just a question. I don't know. So my thing is with this video is, hey, I'm not trying to down someone's artistic pictures of how they did this, how they wrote these books. I'm just asking questions. I'm trying to challenge society as a whole to be like, do you want real science? Or are you just gonna tell me to my face for years and years and years that we believe in true science without actually making sure everyone can do science experiments theirself to back up what you say? Because if everyone just talks and talks and talks, just believe this science, believe this religion, believe what I tell you, you have created a society where it's like, okay, you just gotta believe what I tell you because this is my opinion, my perspective, my viewpoint, my idea. You gotta believe it anyways, even though there's no evidence whatsoever to back up what I say. So I don't know how to do these science experiments right now. I don't know how to do a science experiment to prove if one religion is true versus another, or if what one person says is true versus another. I don't know how to do that at this time, but I am open to relearning how to talk properly. That means the right pronunciation of every letter of the alphabet, and proper words with the proper definition or the meaning of the words, and relearning everything all over again and doing science experiments to be like, oh yeah, this is true versus this is not true. Maybe not thoroughly doing everything, but doing a bunch of different things to be like, okay, this is how you prove this science. This is how you prove this science. This is how you prove if a definition is true, if a letter is true. Are there science experiments that you can do to prove if a letter of the alphabet has the proper sound? Has anyone done those science experiments? So I'm sorry, I can't just continue to hear over and over, oh yeah, I believe in science, while you need the evidence that backs up the science. And so far, I don't have science that backs up that, like, how I'm talking is the right pronunciation of all the letters, all the words, have the proper definition. I don't have the evidence for that. So I'm starting to critically think is like, what is wrong with this environment? So could it be the history? Is the history wrong where we taught a false history and everyone's like, oh yeah, this is the truth of how people existed, you know? So you really want to come from a society that believed it was okay that there can be, you don't need differences in boy clothes versus girl clothes, that everyone can pretty much wear the same thing, and that, you know, there's no such thing as a boy or a girl, you're just a child, you're a teenager or an adult. Like, what kind of society do you want to come from? So I was raised to believe that I'm a girl only. I was taught that, you know, boys have certain body parts, girls have certain body parts. You know, boys, when they grow up, they become more muscular, and have, you know, stronger muscles than girls. And girls have muscles, at least some girls have muscles, but they're more petite. And, you know, so for me, that means lifting tons of weight is not gonna happen. But, you know, it is what it is. This is the way I was taught. Doesn't mean what they said was true, because you need evidence, you need proof to back up what other people say as far as, is this really true? And I was taught there should be scientific evidence. So it's like, well, I'm sorry, you can't just teach science in a way where it's like, okay, we're gonna read this science experiment and then you come to your own conclusions. No, you must do your own science experiments to come to the proper conclusions. And I was never given access to do proper science experiments. So what are the proper science experiments that everyone can do to prove, hey, are there only two genders? Or is it really okay to do surgery on someone and transition from being a girl to a boy or a boy to a girl? Can you do that? What is the truth? So I really don't know, but I have girl parts. I don't have boy parts at all. So I'm going to be like, I'm going to be a girl only for now until proven otherwise. So, believe what you want, think what you want, have your freedom of opinion, perspectives, viewpoints, and ideas. But do you want scientific evidence to back up what you say? That is true science. That is the question. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Until next time.